The Drama is out in theaters, written and directed by Christopher Borgli, who previously made Dream Scenario and Sick of Myself. This stars Zendaya, Robert Pattinson, Alana Haim, and Mamoudou Athie. The story follows a couple in the days leading up to their wedding, who on one night engage in a fun game with another couple they're friends with. After a few drinks, they decide to tell each other what was the worst thing that they've ever done in their lives. And one of those reveals casts a shadow on the relationship, threatening the upcoming wedding. So I gotta say, this is so far my favorite movie of 2026, taking over from Bone Temple. I loved it much, much more than I thought I would, and I think it's an all around excellent film. I will start with the element of it that to someone who hasn't yet seen it might be less obvious, and that's the editing. This film is fantastically edited and put together. The transitions between scenes, the way that the way that that incorporates sound design, the flashback sequences and dream sequences sort of bleeding in with reality. The way the other actress for young Emma is used is brilliant. It's amazingly effective at telling its story in a way that just flows and never ceases to engage the viewer. It is evident right from the opening section of the movie, which is basically set up as Pattinson writing his wedding speech, and in the process, revisiting key moments from the relationship, which we then see as flashbacks. It is just a shockingly elegant way of establishing the characters and the situation in a clever way that feels 100% natural within the narrative, and is not just an exposition dump, but an integral part of the story itself. But editing can only do so much without good things to edit together. But fortunately, these things are here as well. The writing is interesting and thought provoking. I think not only does it set up an interesting conflict that will no doubt be a point of conversation for many viewers coming out of the theater, in the sense of, what would you do or what would I do in this situation? How does suddenly knowing information like this change how we view each other? Does that mean you're a different person now? Do mistakes from your past change who you are now? How far are we allowing people to change in the first place and to correct their course? But not only that, I think the film very subtly touches excuse me. I think the film very subtly touches on how arguments like these can be colored by social things like race and political views. I think it's interesting that both black characters in the film, who are said to have grown up around guns, are explicitly sort of explained by their parents needing them for professional reasons. With a white character, you can just say someone's a gun owner and that's that. But with a black person, it feels like the movie is actively getting ahead of potentially racist stereotypes and explaining these guns and why they were there. You also have the Rachel character, who is an infuriatingly self-righteous virtue signaler, using her cousin, I think, cynically in the situation that arises, refusing to consider forgiveness for others while she dismisses her own faults, and being a pretty toxic person overall. There's the little subplot with Misha, who is shown to be a serial cheater in a very sort of short time frame, and someone who very easily falls into that position that she knows whenever the opportunity arises. And by the way, Haley Gates, who plays Misha, looks eerily similar to Emma Stone for me in this movie. But of course, the central part of the narrative is Emma and Charlie, and this is for me close to perfect with the way their dynamic is written and played. Emma's anxieties and fears about the past coming back to haunt her, Charlie's doubt and shock making him spiral completely out of control. Both performances are magnetic. I think Pattinson is the more obvious one because his performance is more, let's say, out there, more visible. But Zendaya does quite a lot as well, with very often more subtlety. I think she plays a character who is better at hiding their inner turmoil, which is why she might be less flashy but equally impressive. I love the dark humor in the film, with multiple scenes making me laugh out loud, but at the same time never really fully breaking the dramatic tension and anxious sense of uncertainty that just keeps growing. I love the sound design and the music. I loved the production design, with one exception. For how beautiful the apartment of the main couple is and how deliberately and cautiously styled and expensive it appears to be, I refuse to believe that one of its owners or even inhabitants would dress the way Charlie does in the film. He looks like a poor college student to the point that it was being totally distracting for me. Either make their apartment a little less fancy, or make his clothing a little bit better. Otherwise, I felt there's a mismatch. But again, that's a relatively small thing in an otherwise very good movie. I also love the movie's ending and how it basically bookends the story, both by the wedding speech framing device and also by the idea of their first meeting. Overall, fantastic experience. Loved this film all the way through. Really impressively written, directed, edited, and performed. Wholly recommend checking it out.